Hi, I am Fred from therequirementsengineer.com. In this video, I show you how to embed a Draw.io diagram with an image or IMG HTML tag. You will learn the exact workflow in Draw.io. And you will see how to copy the generated code and place it into your website. If you like practical tutorials about modeling and requirements engineering, please subscribe and hit the bell so you do not miss the next videos. What is Draw.io? Draw.io, also known as diagrams.net, is a flexible diagramming tool. I use it for flowcharts, wireframes, process diagrams, and many other visuals. It is easy to start with. However, it also offers useful options when I want to place diagrams on a website. What is an HTML image tag? The IMG image tag is a standard HTML element that displays an image on a web page. So instead of uploading and placing an image manually in every case, I can use generated image code directly inside the page. That is exactly what Draw.io helps me do here. Why embed a Draw.io diagram with an IMG tag? This is useful when I want to show a diagram clearly inside a website. For example, I might want to present a workflow, a system overview, or a process model to readers or clients. And depending on the settings, I can also add helpful viewing options like Lightbox. Step 1. I open my diagram in Draw.io. In this example, my diagram is already open in the editor. Now I am ready to generate the code for embedding it into a web page. Step 2. In the graphical user interface, I click File. Then I move to Embed. And then I click Image. Now Draw.io opens the image dialog for the embed configuration. Thus, step 3, now I configure the embedded image. This is the important part, because here I decide how the diagram will behave on my website. And I do not just click everything blindly. Instead, I look at each option and choose only what I really need. First, I can activate Fit. Fit helps me place the diagram neatly into the available area. So this is useful when I want the embedded diagram to sit cleanly inside my page layout without unnecessary trouble. In the example shown here, it is enabled. Next, I can activate Shadow. This adds a visual effect around the embedded diagram. I would use this only when I want a bit more visual separation from the background. If I want a cleaner and simpler result, I leave it off. In this example, Shadow is not selected. Then I see Retina. This option is relevant when I want a sharper result on high density screens. So if image sharpness is especially important for my use case, I can consider enabling it. However, I only activate it when I really need that extra display quality. After that, I see Lightbox. This is one of the most useful options in this dialog. Lightbox makes the embedded diagram more interactive. So, if a reader should be able to open the diagram in a larger view and inspect it more comfortably, this is a very strong choice. In the example here, Lightbox is enabled. Below that, I can configure Edit Lightbox. In this example, Edit is active and the drop-down is set to make a copy. That means I can define what kind of editing related action is offered together with the embedded diagram. So this is useful when I want the viewer not only to see the diagram, but also to continue working with it in a controlled way. I can choose Custom To and put in my individual URL address. I stay with Make a Copy here. Then I also have layers. This option is available when layer-related behavior matters for the embedded diagram. So, if my diagram uses layers and I want that to play a role in the embedded result, I can activate it. If layers are not relevant for my diagram, I simply leave it unchecked. In the example from the article, layers is not enabled. So, for this demonstration, I use a practical setup. I keep Fit enabled because I want a clean placement. I enable Lightbox because I want a more interactive viewing experience. I keep Edit Lightbox active with Make a Copy because that can be very useful for reuse. And I leave the other options off in this example. This gives me a focused configuration instead of an overloaded one. Step 4. After I choose my settings, I click Embed. Now Draw.io generates the code for me automatically. Inside this window, Draw.io gives me the generated embed code. And in this example, I can see that the snippet starts with an img tag. Now step 5. I click Copy. This copies the generated code to my clipboard, so I can insert it into my web page. Thus, I see the confirmation message that the code was copied to the clipboard. I confirm it with OK. Step 6. Now I open my website's editor. I use WordPress here. Thus, I switch to the text. Then I paste the generated image code exactly where I want the diagram to appear on the page. Step 7. Next, I preview the page. I check whether the diagram appears in the right place and looks the way I want. If needed, I adjust the placement or repeat the export with different settings. And once everything looks good, I publish the page. Now we are ready. So when should I use this method? I use this workflow when I want to place a Draw.io diagram directly into a website in a simple way. It is especially useful for tutorials, documentation, architecture overviews, or business process explanations. And when I enable Lightbox, the reader can interact with the diagram more comfortably. So this is how you embed a Draw.io diagram with an IMG HTML tag. Open your diagram, click File, click Embed, choose Image, configure options like Fit, Shadow, Retina, Lightbox Edit or Layers. Click Embed. Copy the generated image code, paste it into your website editor, preview the page and publish it. If this video helped, please support the channel, like it and subscribe for more Draw.io tutorials. Also tell me in the comments, would you use this method mainly for tutorials, documentation, or business websites? Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.